What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you again for tuning in. We are doing the brand new DINAN X1 exhaust on the X1. I've been hoping a company out there, especially as reputable as DINAN, to release some type of system for the X1, X2, and this is like a month old. They just released this 4 or 5 weeks ago. I got delivery of it. It's in the back. I'm heading to a buddy's house, and I'm super excited for this. I've been shopping around forever just for exhaust tips, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a masculine look in the back, and this is just gravy. The power is going to be minimal. DINAN's saying about 5-ish horsepower. That's on stock. I do have the DINAN tune and the DINAN intake, so might be a little bit more, but the real thing about this is the sound, right? The sound, and if there is any type of performance, I'm hoping that we'll also get a weight savings. So it'll be a little bit lighter, so we'll shed some pounds, get a nice little aggressive tone, hopefully in sport. I'm hoping in normal driving mode, it's not gonna be overbearing. I think with maintaining the actuators and the valves, opening and closing, that normal and efficient will just be kind of maybe the same, maybe a little bit more of a tone, but sport, I'm hoping we'll get some smiles, and that's what it's all about. I've said it in other videos, it's all about the smiles. Anyway, I can't wait to unbox this, check it out, put it in, go for a ride. Here we go. There she is. All right, we're gonna get her out and unbox her.
Yeah, it's always good. A lot less likely to get damaged.
Yep. Nice.
So the box really is just a lot bigger than it looks like it needs to be.
Yeah, it's just all packaging, make sure everything's safe.
Yep.
Yep. Clamps.
Very well packaged.
Oh yeah. Nice. Look at those welds.
Alright, so instructions did not come in there.
Alright, so there is all the stuff there. We got our exhaust tips and some other hardware there. Everything checks out. It is a foam formed package, so it was packaged really well. The box was in somewhat questionable condition, but I'm glad DINAN takes the extra precaution to package it really well. The other thing too is there is not instructions in it, so we were just going to use our iPad or iPhone and look at the PDF online. So that was one thing I thought was a little off by DINAN, is they didn't include paper instructions, but that's okay. We're going to get the X1 jacked up. All right, let's lift her. All right, so per their instructions, we need to cut, it said what, 2 3/4 from where?
From the brace.
Okay.
I'm just gonna double check that, because usually they don't have you cutting on an angle like that.
Okay.
So if I was to cut straight, it would give you an odd thing. So I wonder if they want me to cut this way.
Okay, let's double check. All right, so I want to show you guys something that we found out before we cut, so that you always measure twice and hopefully cut once. So we're gonna have to email DINAN separately after this video, because it turns out when you go on DINAN's webpage here, if you click the link for, I'm on the all-wheel drive version, and it's if you look at the part number there, it references to 0089. Now go ahead and click it. If you notice, what it actually launches here is 88, the S drive. So the link on their website is taking us to the wrong PDF for the wrong instructions. So that's something we have to point out. And the instructions for the cut line for the X drive is the same as the S drive, which is way off. That's not correct. So
this is the all-wheel drive.
This is the all-wheel drive version, which is, we went in there and we manually guessed what it was. So we typed in the URL 0089. It did take us to a separate PDF, but the first step is the exact same as the S drive. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go into the car, get the hanger point as a reference, and then go back from there, and that's where we'll know to cut. But hopefully by the time this video gets posted, DINAN will make the correct updates on the website, and there won't be any issues, and you'll have the right reference for a cut point. So off camera, I just called DINAN and I pointed out that little whoopsie on their website. Unfortunately, they don't have tech support on the weekends. It's only like sales and returns and stuff like that. So we are using the hanger point near the rear section and then tracing back. So if we line that up and then go from the flange point to where the open cuts is, we measured about 14¼ inches. So we are, fingers crossed, hoping that is good, because right now we don't have any reference point. DINAN did apologize and said that they are going to get that updated as soon as Monday, as soon as they can get an engineer back. So hopefully the instructions will be right for you, but for us, we're doing 14¼ inches back from the brace, and see if it works. Here we go. All right, cut has been made, just getting off the hanger. You said that the hanger was actually kind of bolted to the chassis.
Yep, so you have to pull it out from when it's still on the car. Whereas if you look at this one, you can just unbolt it here.
Okay.
And drop the whole hanger down with you, and then transfer it to the new exhaust.
Gotcha. What size socket you got?
It's a 13.
13?
I'm guessing it's a 13. It seems like I'm right.
All right, so note to self, before you undo the, what is it, 13 millimeters for the hangers, gotta remove this strut brace, at least for the X drive here, which is at 18.
Yep.
There's the old unit off. So one thing that's interesting is DINAN decided to move the flap on the exhaust to the opposite side. So what they do is they give you a extension harness so it reaches to the other side from where it is on OE. That'll be plug and play, but in order to do that, just remove this heat shield, and then the wire will go underneath this heat shield. There's the harness extension that I was talking about. So just tucking that up underneath the heat shield. So before we put this in, I just wanted to show the massive difference. Look at this bend on the OEM one, how it gets skinny there, and then it just retains in that wider diameter, especially like look coming out of the stock exhaust compared to the other one. I mean, just a massive diameter increase. So hopefully that'll give us a little bit more sound and free up some air.
The only bit is here, but I guess, yeah, and that's not bending. That's the one thing I don't get.
What's that?
Is this is right according to the photo, but this is nowhere near bolting up. And this is not flexing.
So a little disappointing here. One thing that we are running into is we are looking at the instructions, and apologize for the glare, but this is the part that is of concern right now. So this goes on top of this, right? Bolts down. And then this right here, as you can see, it's supposed to curve in. There's a bend there, an angle. And these two holes are supposed to go flush against that, as you can see in this. And then do you have that big photo, the colored photo? So here it is on the parts thing. You can see that how it's bending in. Here, it's pretty much straight. There's no bend. It's supposed to bend, so these two holes can line up with there. So I'm not sure if this was something during shipping. I doubt it. That to me, it looks like it just wasn't done at the factory.
Yeah, I think it's a factory mistake.
So I'm gonna point this out to DINAN too. This is a little disappointing, but this is kind of the one snag plus the wrong PDF uploaded on their website. So we're gonna have to manually bend this in so these two holes can line up and bolt down into there. So after some finagling, what did you use, vice grips? Or?
We used, I guess, the vise on my bench. Stuck this into the vise, and then just pushed down on that. The main thing we wanted to make sure when bending this was not to bend this plate here, right, because this needs to remain flat.
Yeah.
So after a couple tries, we got lined up perfectly.
Yeah, but now you can see that it goes in, angles in, where before it was, what was like 3/4 of an inch?
Yeah.
Like it was decently far away. So it's unfortunate that we had to do that on a brand new piece, but I'm guessing this is just kind of a first batch mistake. So something else I'm going to point out to DINAN just for maybe future revisions. All right, so good news. The main pipe is loosely fitted, and from our cut mark that we it said what, 14¼ inches. It appears that was good enough. We have everything still loose, not bolted down, because we're still attaching the rear muffler section, but it appears that was good. So we're gonna keep going, and we'll keep you posted about our measurements and if everything bolts up as it's intended to. So we got the muffler on, and things are still kind of loose in the midsection, right?
Nope, it's all tight now.
Oh, it is all tightened down. Okay, and so safe to say our 14¼ was.
Yep, I would say you could do 14¼ You could even go a bit longer if you wanted to go to like 15, or no, shorter. So you would cut it down to about 13, 13½. You either anything in that range seems like you'd have a good fit.
Okay, and muffler bolted right up. We got these extensions on. These extensions go to the muffler, which is going to be for the exhaust tips, and the exhaust tips are going to go in here. So we are getting close. Right now, Adam is putting back on the brace that we had to remove to get the original midsection out.
Take these off. That way I can have this sitting up in the top, hidden behind the muffler instead of hanging down.
Nice, yeah, that'll look cleaner.
Because these can clamp down and you can use this to adjust the length, going in and out.
All right, so we're at the final step here. What we're doing is putting this clamp on first, and then that way when we put it on up here, we're gonna be able to slide it in and out via as much as we can. So,
and then the clamp is hidden by the bumper.
Yeah, which was a really cool tip from Adam, is getting that clamp that's gonna be hidden up here instead of it being protruding and hanging down on the tip. Personal preference, you can have the DINAN logo up here to show off, you know, what kind of exhaust you have. I'm gonna try to kind of keep this like OEM plus type thing, so I'm putting the DINAN on the bottom. This is just personal preference. So it's gonna be clean up top, and we're not gonna see the clamp, and I'm gonna push it in so it's semi-flush, maybe just protruding just the tiniest bit. Nice. All right.
Time to clean up.
All right, back in the X1 for the first time on the highway since we've got the DINAN exhaust on, and I gotta say, like, if you are at a red light or a stop sign, there is almost like no difference. Only the cold start, and in efficient mode, what I would compare it to is like when the valves are closed, it sounds close to like when if your valves were always open on the OEM exhaust. It's very mild. Like I'm at about 1800 RPMs at 68 miles an hour, and it's, I bet you guys can't even pick it up. I don't know if you can even tell a difference, which I like the fact that you have control over when you want to hear it and when you don't. Going into Sport Plus and sliding this over, and then, you know, being on it when the valve will open based on the throttle position, yeah, it sounds sporty. So I will do that now. I'm just going from comfort and to the normal drive mode. I'm going to go into my most aggressive settings, Sport, and then Sport Plus, and over here, and I'll give it a little gas here. See if you guys can pick it up. Hopefully you can. So yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. It is about, you know, having the fun when you want it to, getting the smiles, which clearly I'm doing now. Overall, I'm pleased, very pleased with the sound. That's not even a question. I just wish the instructions would have been on point, typically how DINAN is, and it wasn't, which is unfortunate, but that's my honest review. That's what I give. I already did reach out to them on the phone, but I'm gonna ping them again. I'll talk on the forums as well of my experience, and then the bracket that was supposed to have the bend but didn't have the bend, and we had to manually do that. That's a little unfortunate. That's very unlike DINAN. But everything else, like what the welds, the quality of the muffler. Sorry, just the smiles. Everything else I'm pretty happy with. So overall, the exhaust is good. I think they need to make a revision on that one bracket and clean up the instructions, fix the link to the instructions, make sure it directs you to the right one. So other than that, I'm gonna wrap this video up and do a quick before and after comparison of the OEM exhaust and the DINAN exhaust.
It's so funny.
Engine is warm. Comfort mode. Efficient mode. I got to give an honest review on this one, and it's tough. While I was happy that it arrived nicely packaged and no damage, it looked good, the quality was good, except for that one bracket that we had to bend manually. I'm kind of disappointed on that. I gotta say, the instructions, I gotta give a fail on that. So there's some issues with where to cut. The instructions that they gave to the link were incorrect. I called DINAN. I'm gonna hope that they're gonna correct that as soon as possible. As for that bracket, I don't know if I just got a one-off bad one, or maybe they need to do a revision. But overall, I'm pleased. I'm excited to get in the car and actually drive it around. I just wish the install would have been a little bit smoother and cleaner, especially coming from DINAN. Had no issues with their piggyback, no issues with their intake, but this right here, I think I just got an early batch, and maybe they need to correct the links and stuff like that and make some corrections on their statement. But other than that, there you go, guys. If you appreciate today's video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the install or what we did to make the corrections, leave a comment. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe. Catch you guys next time. Out.